The Street Corner Soapbox. The Street Corner Soapbox with Fausto and Willin. Podcast takeover. We're making a killing. Music to nightlife. Debauchery and street news. Serving it hot. We are some street news, movies and mayhem. The craziest guests, words from chaos. Get it off our chest, Rhode Island, worldwide, dark corners in all places. Speak how we live, radio show, smoking aces. Ladies and gents, for the people we're talking. Take the show on the road, right where you're walking. Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Street Corner Soapbox Podcast coming to you live. That's right, boys and girls. Street Corner Soapbox. Now, we all know during this crazy time with the pandemic, businesses are struggling. So we're here to support local businesses, and we need your help to do so also.
That's right. So subscribe to our Patreon, become a member to help support the show, and receive exclusive episodes and bonus content, as well as discounts on merch. That's patreon.com/streetcorner_soapbox2020.
Follow us on our website, streetcornersoapbox.com. That's right, boys and girls. We are back. Street Corner Soapbox. I'm here with my brother, Lord Willin.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What up? Good guest today. My man Rico in the house.
That's right, from Boss Vintage Shop, record store in Kansas City, Missouri.
Hooligan Clothing, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Rico, what's going on, brother?
Good. What a crazy year. So good to hear from you guys.
No doubt, brother.
Nah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. It means a lot.
Crazy year is an understatement.
Definitely. And for those that don't know, Rico is a I would say like a quadruple OG in the New York City scene, the skinhead scene, the DJing scene, vinyl. We're gonna go over all that stuff. But Rico, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to be on this show.
How's everything going in KC right now?
KC's been slow. During the summer, we had some outdoor events. Some of us got to work. I was grateful for that. The store's been super slow. Been doing stuff on bigcartel.com. Boss Hooligan Big Cartel. That's been, keeping me going, keeping the dream going, you know?
No doubt.
Rico, can you talk a little bit about maybe your background growing up in New York City, how you got started into music and the skinhead culture, any early influences you might have had or inspirations to follow this path?
You know, for me, it started off in the middle 80s, 84, hanging out with Stigma, hanging out Washington Square Park, Thompson Square Park.
Oh, yeah.
We grew ourselves a little community of friends, but nothing brought us more together than CBGBs matinee.
Yeah,
that's when we all got together from different boroughs, You had Sunset, you had,
no doubt,
Queens, Corona, you had the Bronx, you had Jersey. It was good,
Now, were you into...
Those days were really...
No, go ahead, bro.
No, you were saying?
Oh, I was just saying. Now, did you get into punk rock first or reggae?
Actually, it was reggae first, hip hop.
Okay.
Because all the break beats was coming, everybody was sharing some. First time I ever listened to Billy Squire was, Africa Bambaataa throwing it down. Stuff like that. The hardcore music and punk music was definitely a huge influence, but I was curious, going to CB's was definitely, if you came from a broken home, you found your home there.
No doubt.
All of us was hanging out. And those were special times for us,
Yeah, for sure. That was like the meeting place for everybody.
Yeah, we've heard that time.
Lower East Side.
Yeah, that was, I think we all met there from all walks of life, That was 12 o'clock, you were there, and that's how it really started for a lot of us. We were getting exposed to different music, people hanging out. It was great,
No doubt.
It was a good time.
Now, what drew you into the skinhead culture? And actually, why don't you give a brief history in the roots of the skinhead culture? Because it's important for people to realize that it's not what the media perceives it to be.
No, back in the 80s, we were very... first of all, you had to understand, a lot of us were Puerto Rican, Dominican. People were from different nationalities. We had kids that were from Philippines, You know, we had all walks of life hanging out with us. We had cats from Jamaica, and the Jamaican cats is really who got me turned on to it. You know,
Okay.
they used to call me a rude boy for walking the way I was walking, the way I was dressing. I didn't understand it, but that was them saying, you know, what are you doing listening to this music? You know what's up? And I used to sit on the stoop, and all we had to share was a, you know, 40 ounce of 40, and we hung out. You know, we talked. Yeah. It was good. From there, music started influencing me. But I have to say, CBGBs was definitely hanging out at CB's. I got to see a lot of stuff. Billy used to have me come in and, you know, fill in a shift somewhere, and I got exposure to all these different bands and music, and it was crazy. But that shit was crazy, you know.
Now, how do you feel about the way the media has portrayed skinheads over the, you know,
well, God,
in recent history?
The media has used it as, you know, yellow journalism. They like to push their propaganda to give a message, sensationalism, and that's what we went through in the 80s. It was tons of that, and we went on the fight to. We weren't, you know, one of my buddy Marcus Pachenko started Sharp.
Yep.
He had his movement, but we were more of the street kids. Like, they're not going to care if we had a patch on us. They're going to treat us the same way. So, I mean, every block had issues with us, but it made us who we are, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And for those that don't know, Sharp is Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice.
Also,
so, I mean, the early skinhead culture was a lot of Jamaican influence.
Right.
Before the Brits got to it, you know? So that was huge. That was huge. And D.C., there was a lot of brothers that were skinheads. You know, there was different cities that held it down. You know, Chicago held it down. New York held it down. So we were starting a movement that was already enrooted in the Jamaican culture, and then moved on to another island, England,
right.
And then it grew even more, you know?
Yeah. Now, did it go from Jamaica to England first, or Jamaica to the States?
It went to England first because Jamaica was England's Commonwealth.
Okay.
So a lot of the kids, you know, parents sent them to better education. They sent them to England. And I think that's when everyone started mixing and understanding each other's vibe, you know?
Okay, so I think it's important for people to know that, you know, it's a culture that, I mean, you know, because, again, the media is always focused on Nazi skinheads, or who we would call boneheads.
Yeah, that wasn't even what we were about.
Right.
You know, we're listening to reggae music.
Yeah, but, you know, I think that's there's a big misconception with all that. You know, I think people relate skinhead to Nazis.
They do.
You know what I mean?
No question about it.
Completely the opposite, really.
No, 100%
you know?
people do.
You want to talk about that a little bit? You know, how the difference between, like, the actual real skinhead, quote unquote, and then to the Nazi, I guess, version.
I mean, you could tell, you know, a bonehead would just.
I mean, I feel like people relate to it like American History X.
Yeah, American History X.
I would say that for like an example.
Yeah, I mean, another sensationalism, you know, going down with movies. I mean, they just never represented.
Yeah.
For us, the first representation of that, it was Repo Man, when the Untouchables came out.
Yeah.
And they were in Parkers, and all these brothers were riding scooters, and we were like, whoa! Now, that was the first. That was one of the first movies that actually portrayed our scene the way it should have been.
Right.
You know?
Now you saw firsthand the Nazi infiltration, I would call it. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, a lot of it came from Philly, upstate, Jersey, and we were all meeting in Manhattan, and I think that's where we put our foot down.
Yep.
I mean, there was a lot of infiltration of it, but a lot of them, you know, it didn't go right for them down there.
No, I know that.
we had every nationality hanging out, and it was hard for them to understand what was what. You know, I think that's what was the unique thing about us. You know, everybody had shaved heads. Pick us out on a lineup, you can't. Everyone looked alike, you know.
No doubt.
He was bald. He had Doc Martens. All right, we all got him.
No doubt.
You know?
So basically, like, they would come around, and you guys would basically make sure that they didn't stick around.
Always. It was always probably at CBGBs. Everyone thought it was the place to come to set an example, and that wasn't. But then we started traveling. You know, we started going to the Pipeline in New Jersey. We started going to South Jersey. We started going to Philly. Then they understood, you know. Until that point, yeah, we started traveling. We didn't really have nothing else to do. So once we started traveling, that kind of changed the word.
Yeah, you guys made yourself known. Yeah, no doubt. You are forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that they were the minority compared to you guys?
I always felt that they was the minority, but they didn't understand the culture that they, you know, claim. It's like, you know, skinhead is a Jamaican slang for a shaved head.
Right.
They didn't come up with that. Why would you take that, you know? But there was a show, Geraldo, you know, that was huge. You had a whole bunch of guys from the West Coast come down, and it was on. It was on national TV. There was another cat named, he did a backwards swastika on his head and got on his, Martin Downey Jr. That was the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he went in the bathroom. He put a swastika on his head, which was backwards because he was doing it, you know.
Yeah, in the mirror.
It came out, and he got called out. Everyone was just like blew up on him. But then he came out and apologized. He, you know, I got jumped by a couple of skinheads, and they put this on my forehead. And we were like, wow. At that point, that word was being used every day, but they were not ever showing our point of view, our culture. Later on, you started seeing more stuff, but for us, there was nothing. I mean, nothing of our culture.
Yeah, and
it was.
No, I was going to say that you know bothers me because that's not the real true roots of the culture, and even today, people still have those misconceptions. I've heard people talk about it, and it's just like, yo, man, it's not even like that. That's why another reason I felt it was important to have you on, because you've been around literally since the beginning.
Yeah, and New York City was incredible, but we had a lot of cats from everywhere. You know, now when I travel, Thailand, oh my God, so many of them out there. So many in, you know, places you never thought. Philippines, I ran into some, and they're some of my favorite people out there. You know, giving a shout out to all the Filipino skins. Yeah, it was just incredible to see the culture go and go. Even India, I ran into a couple of cats. I was shocked by that. You know? So that was cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
man.
everywhere we went, you know, we found our niche. You know.
Yeah, man, for sure. So to everybody listening out there that doesn't know, you hear it first here. There's skinheads in India, the Philippines, you know,
everywhere.
So stop with the stereotypical bullshit because it's not true.
You know, I mean, just like hardcore music for us, it was. Fuck, hardcore was amazing. You know, you had kids that listened to metal, kids that listened to hip hop. They merged that shit. You know, here's the birth.
Yeah.
Hard ass, fucking great lyrics. You know, it's just always been the same for me. Hip hop, punk, always been a good culture. You know, some punk rockers crossed over to hip hop, like Malcolm McLaren, who ran, you know, the Sex Pistols. He had a nice history of hip hop. You know,
no
the
doubt.
Dream Team. You know, so. Those are what I was really lucky in the 80s because I used to walk among all the tribes. That's what I call it, you know. There was so many subcultures. You know, I go hang out at Goth Night, you know, with my boy Saab. Those were fun nights. Then I go to the Limelight and hang out, you know, Brother Loki and the rest of the gang, Zach, hanging out, you know. Then we go to Latin Quarters and hang out, you know. Then we go to Union Square and hang out. Then we go to Danceteria and hang out. So it was like walking among all these subcultures, but it was amazing to do that, you know?
Well,
it was just amazing.
Yeah, and everyone came together.
But we kept our identity.
Right.
Know? And no one was like, oh, shit, you're a skinhead checking out, you know, hip-hop. No, it was all the same shit for us. We went.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
You know? No, it didn't. And it just, we had a lot of heads following us and backing us up. And they're like, nah, you can't say these motherfuckers do this because here they are in a hip-hop show. I mean, you know, there was a lot of that going on in the neighborhoods. They didn't understand, so.
Well, you guys kind of broke the barrier for that because everyone was coming from all over the place and joining together for the love of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when kids used to travel from Queens to come hang out in Manhattan, that was special, you know?
Yeah.
The Bronx coming out. Brooklyn. I mean, some cats never left Brooklyn. They had to come out to Manhattan to hang out. That was huge. You know some of them.
Yeah, no doubt. It was like different worlds, right? Like each borough was like a different world, especially back then, I'm sure.
Yeah, every borough was a whole unique. You had to understand that was the last of the gangs of New York too. Every borough had its own culture and its clique and what they were going through. So it was nice to see people traveling out of their boroughs, you know?
Definitely, man. So when did you get into DJing, and what were some of your influences to start doing that?
Well, DJing for me started off as rent parties, you know? We couldn't afford where I was, so we threw a party once a month and sold beer and made our rent. And that's what we did, you know? We kept doing it until, you know, they told us to stop. But that was... So playing music, we all took turns playing records, you know? That was our job, you know? Either taking the money, moving this stuff, or playing records. So whatever I was into, I would do a set of that. You know, I'd play ska and reggae and soul and then stop. You know, then somebody else would get on and play breakbeats, hip hop, you know, 45. So it was just that way. I never thought collecting records would take me as far as it did, you know, traveling with bands and I'm playing other people's records, you know, music. That's crazy. But I'm glad that me being a record geek got me this far, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great industry, and a lot of people are passionate about it. Now, you obviously have a vast record collection, vinyl, and how do you know, vinyl has stayed relevant in 2020 in present day, whereas a lot of other forms of hard copies of music kind of gone into non-existence.
You know, when the laptops came out, that was kind of a hard year. I mean, you could still use CDs, but the laptop business was it almost killed the vinyl DJ. It almost did that, but for some reason, a lot of us stuck with our guns and played records. You know,
I think it's a culture thing, or it's like an
better.
Appreciation of it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that collect records and listen to vinyl, they enjoy it. It's like a
yeah, it is the whole process of buying the record.
I don't think it's never gonna die.
I don't think so either.
No way.
And guys like Rico keep it alive.
Exactly.
Right. There's always new formats that people want to touch, but there's nothing like a stereo system in your home and you're playing records and everyone is just grooving. Nobody really has to talk, you know? And that's what was it about, you know? Playing records for each other. It was great, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going to the record store.
My first Cro-Mag record. I was like, what the fuck is this? Shit was great, you know? AF first album, you know, we would sit in a little basement and hear one record and just be blown away. Couldn't wait to see a show, you know?
Yeah, build up that hype to actually see the band or the artist.
Yeah, there was nothing like getting a new record and someone turning you on to a new record. I always felt that was the best feeling, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Now,
my music taste goes across the board, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you DJ, you would mostly, or DJ now, you mainly just play the soul and the skinhead reggae and ska, right?
No, I do a rockabilly set.
Oh, do you?
I play.
Oh, nice.
I do country swing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I open up for a lot of bands doing that genre. I
didn't realize that.
80s goth, new wave night, you know, that always brings the crowd when we had a crowd.
Right. Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know.
I was speaking of yesterday versus today, you know?
Yeah, no doubt, man.
You know, I will play break beats, hip hop. I did that in Syracuse when I went to hang out with a couple of the fellas, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's across the board from punk, hip hop, soul, northern soul, reggae, dance hall. Fuck, I might even play some polka, you know?
Hell yeah, man. Represent for all my Polacks out there with the polka music. Hell yeah.
I love the Polish people. I have to say, that's another nationality that I truly love. I go, you know, I used to remember just going out at the clubs, and we went to a club in Chicago, and this doorman was the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. And you know what I said? Dzień dobry, kurwa. And he just looked at me. He was like, you know what this means? I'm like, yeah. And he started laughing. You're a funny man. You're a funny man. We became friends. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
He was shocked, you know?
Yeah, he didn't expect that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I didn't expect at that same Polish club? They were playing reggae that day.
Really?
They had an Ethiopian band playing.
Oh, dope.
And it was full of Polish people drinking cans of beers bigger than my head, and they were all dancing. It was the strangest shit I've ever seen, but I love that experience.
No doubt.
That was in Chicago, you know. That was
fucking drink, dude.
Yeah, that we can.
Drink for sure.
No, and there was a lot of Polish venues that were putting on hardcore shows. I know. I think Hoya's talked about that before. Madball playing at like Polish clubs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think one of the Black and Blue Bowls was at a Polish bar. That was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah,
and
man.
for real, we met a lot of Polish guys that traveled for just those shows, and you know, it was good. You know, one of the ones I remember is Michał, and I went to stay with him in Krakow, and those dudes were like notorious hooligans. Like those dudes were wild, and I was just like, I bugged out. Because they were like wild.
But it was all
we
love.
had the best time, and they used to always come out to New York for Black and Blue Bowl back in the early days and just party, hang out, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
Music.
People come from all over the world. You know, that's something I can't emphasize enough.
That was very unique. Boy, do I miss that so much, you know?
Yeah, bro, I hear you, man. Especially this year, man. It's fucking, everything's just fucked up.
Right? Yeah, no shit. They shut the hair down.
I thought it was bad when Reagan was around.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad when Reagan was around, but damn, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Fucking crazy right now, dude.
Fuck, man. Hopefully, sooner than later, we get over this and we could start fucking.
Oh my god! At least eventually everybody's gonna get it, whether you're asymptomatic or not, and then it'll just like hopefully go away. But I gotta get back to fucking work, dude.
Yeah, I know, man.
What the fuck?
Yo, we all do.
I know.
You know what I mean? I'm tired of being home.
Yo, we got the nicest gardens ever.
I gotta see some titties. What the fuck? Like, you know? God damn, we gotta open these strip clubs back up.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Only titties I'm seeing is fruit these days, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like fucking cantaloupes, fucking get half chopped going in the fruit drawer.
Yo, you look perfect. I got the touch now, you know?
Oh,
right?
man. What the fuck?
But you never look at cantaloupe again, dude.
We went from hardcore to fucking fruit. It's all
fruit, erotica, yeah.
Fruit resembling female breasts.
That's kind of, 2020's fucked up, bro.
2020 is fucked
we're
up.
thinking about fruit weird.
Dude, listen. Don't leave an apple pie around on the fucking table, you know
I
what
got
I'm
a half apple pie in my fridge, motherfucker, and a carrot cake. You don't want the carrot cake. Yo.
Classic.
Rico,
That's a classic moment.
You're going to be in the grocery store all fucked up this week. Fuck, man.
See a guy with a trench coat, you know? He's like, what are you doing?
He's after them watermelons, dude.
Yo,
A bunch of bundt cakes, son.
yo, that's crazy, bro.
Yo, it's 2020.
Anything's possible, man.
So, Rico, bringing it back, we're not even back, bringing it forward a little bit. You want to talk about starting your clothing company, the Hooligan brand?
Yeah, Hooligan. I started in the early '80s. No, late '90s. Late '90s when I left New York. I didn't get to Kansas City. I think around '94. I used to travel around all the states, but Kansas City became home because it was buck wild. I've never seen a city that had so many fun people.
That's
and
where
when I moved
now?
there was. Yeah, I'm still in Kansas City.
Oh, word.
And you know, I understand how the Italian family moved over there to the Midwest. It was just like everything was open. Not everyone was doing your same thing. If I had one show, this guy wasn't doing the same thing. It was good, you know. It was a unique place. It was an entrepreneur kind of place, and you know, I just felt at home. It was chill. You know, you didn't have to move from apartment to apartment. You know, you had a chance to collect more shit. So it was cool. I like it.
Made you comfortable, kind of.
Yeah, you are comfortable in Kansas City. You eat well. You know, Lord Will tell you he's been out there eating with me. You know.
Yeah, man, good barbecue out there for sure.
Yeah, I think you actually told me about that.
Yeah. Shout out to Panic, too.
Italian food too.
Yeah,
We got a good selection of. Yeah, it's hard to keep weight around here, you know.
No doubt. So what really got you into the starting up the clothing brand, and maybe speak on the fact the skinhead fashion a little bit as well.
Well, with Hooligan, we started off as Hooligan Empire. With my dude Ed, a couple other guys we got in. We had a guy who was doing the silk screening. We had someone that was doing the marketing. And it became really popular real quick. We did the business shirt. I don't know if you ever seen the Hardcore Hooligan business shirt. That's
from the album.
We designed that. Yeah, we designed that logo.
Dope.
My boy Ed Cerro designed that logo for us for Hooligan Empire, and we took that on the road with them. And that was like the first time I got to tour with clothing with the band. You know, I had scarves, I had hats, I had tank tops, I had the whole. So everyone picked up on them because we weren't doing mail order back then, you know.
So you were just going.
We would do some magazine stuff. Yeah, we'd go city to city, and people would buy the merch. And it was really, we did that for quite a bit, like 10 years. And then, we broke up the company. And then it went, I started doing the original Hooligan and then Boss Hooligan. Boss Hooligan was my DJ name.
Right.
And for some reason, a good friend of mine was like, "Hey, you should market your logo." And I was like, "What are you nuts? Who wants to buy my shit?" But turned out to be he was right. The Boss Hooligan sound system is now really morphed into not just my logo. It became a clothing brand.
Right. And is the brand? Are you still doing the clothes right now?
Oh yeah. Boss Hooligan, Big Cartel. That's where I've been selling it, and of course at my store. But that was the only online presence I have right now.
Okay.
And I did Adidas jackets with the logo. Scarves right now. I got quite a bit of stuff. I do limited runs, and they sell out quick. Because I try to keep the, like a camo. I just did a black camo Adidas jacket with the original leaf on it with my logo. And the camo is the stripes,
Dope.
That's it's still, I got a few left, but that's the kind of things I've been selling online. At my store, I sell a lot of records, turntables, vintage turntables. I restore them. I do vintage speakers. So at home, when I'm not doing anything, I'm restoring an old speaker.
Oh, it's dope. I didn't know you did that.
To the shop. Yeah. And I got a nice collection of turntables from the 60s that I really like. Some of them play 78s. A lot of them are just full functional. A lot of them are rare,
What made
That's
you What made you decide to open up a store? Ultimately, just because you're like
it was. I went to visit a buddy of mine who owned a tattoo shop, and right next door was a small room, like a small space. And the rent was right. So I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And she was like, "Yeah, month to month. Even better." So I tried it out. It's been 6 years now.
It worked, right?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I meet a lot of good people.
Oh, yeah.
I do miss that part of it because communicating is how you get people. I had a lady show up with her daughter. She had her daughter dressed up so fancy, and the kid was like, I'm like, "What are you into?" She was like, "Alex Cooper." I was like, "Nice."
Eyeliner.
And, oh, yeah. She was, the mom was trying to get her to listen to ABBA,
Oh, damn.
And while she was leaving, I gave her a record, I gave her an LP,
Word.
And the mom just gave me that look like, "Fucking, how dare you?" I was like, "Here."
I'm trying to convert my daughter.
So she got that record, and I know she was jamming it every day, driving her mom nuts. So,
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep music going.
For sure.
It's funny how parents don't even know what their kids listen to. I had a father and son that just didn't seem to click, and then they both went after the same album. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, no, it definitely happens.
It was a Sick of It All album.
Oh, damn.
Both went after it. And Dad was like, you know who they are? And he goes, yeah, I just started getting into them. And he goes, yo, I seen them. And the kid was like, wow, can't believe it. So now they're talking. So they didn't even understand. They both listen to hardcore music.
Yeah, man. They found common ground with Sick of It All.
Yes, they
really
did.
dope.
And music does that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
was incredible. You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the beauties of the whole culture.
Yeah. I mean, we're so lucky to live in that, you know, just people could actually get along if they just listen to records together.
No, I agree. It brings you together. It brings everyone together from all races, backgrounds, cultures, creeds. It doesn't matter.
You know, that's why it is, you know, from hip hop to hardcore. I mean, it was no difference for me. It was home.
No doubt. Exactly. Going back to the fashion a little bit, you want to speak on like the skinhead fashion, like the Fred Perry, everything, the boots, everything for people that don't know?
I mean, the standard dress for back then, because Ben Sherman's shirt was a very popular shirt to wear. Braces is what they call suspenders here in America. Tapered pants. We never wore flares. That was a time before us. You know, we had, it was the 80s. You know, we had our shit tapered. You know, we wore our sambas. You know, we wore, most all of us who was in the street, we wore steel toes, 12 Violet, Doc Martens. You know what I mean? That was it. That was our standard battle gear. You know, everyone wore a steel cap boot. That was it. You know, down the years after everyone got comfortable, we stopped doing that. But man, at a hardcore show, oi show, punk show, you'll see some boots flying. You know, you probably get clocked in the head. It was just that way. You know,
no joke.
I mean, everyone was dressed. We all had that look. You know, a lot of us hanging out at CBGBs. Everyone, you know. We wore, I remember a funny story. One year, somebody had brought a truck. We didn't ask any questions. It was a truck. And it was like a canary yellow Fred Perry V-neck sweater, you know?
Yep.
And the dude was getting rid of them for $5.
Damn.
And let me tell you, I wish I would have had a picture. All of us was wearing that canary Fred Perry in front of TV.
For $5, man, I would have bought a bunch of them.
This guy couldn't wait to get rid of them. He knew exactly where he was going to, but there was one color, you know? So we were taking sizes. Oh, it was so funny. We all looked that day. We looked so funny. No pictures of that.
Now, would you say...
You know, we have a...
No, I was just going to ask you, would you say you were influenced by British culture, like the hooligan stuff and even the fashion?
Most definitely the fashion was, because all the clothing came from England at the time.
Right.
You know, Doc Martens was made in England. Clark's was another Jamaican gear, you know, desert boots, Treks, you know, Wallabies, you know, that came from England. British Knights came from England too. Brits, they had a gummy sole. Hip hop heads used to love those. That's
right.
That's a shoe that you probably didn't see in a long time. You know, they came out at the same time with Bally's. But some of us that were influenced on the side, we would rock our Oxblood Fred Perry with some, you know, Brits on and, you know, do that move too, you know. But it was always every day was steel cap, Doc Martens, you know, tapered pants, you know, flight jacket, and that was it. You know, that was our look code every day. Yeah, yeah,
man, and it's evolved. You know, it's evolved. I mean, you still go to shows and you see people dressed like that, but you know, more times than not,
it's a sharp look.
Yeah, it is. No, I agree.
You know, you look great. You know, now we could afford more stuff, but you know, just rocking your Levi's and a jean jacket, you know, and a Fred Perry. You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. My only complaint about Fred Perry is that they don't make their clothes big enough.
Yeah, that was mine too. They just started this year. This year they just started making 3X.
Really? Really?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they make 3X now.
I know. I went
Thank God.
I went to the Fred Perry store in Boston a couple of years back. I was with Ruben actually, and we went out there. And I think they had like 1 2XL, but it fit like it barely fit me. I was like, yo, I can't even fuck with this.
You can't breathe.
No. You got to get online and get the get the 3XL.
That's dope, man. I wonder what took them so long to do that.
I don't know. The Brits always had their standard of what they call the Queen standard, and nobody was fat over there, I guess. You know.
I'm gonna apply the Queen standard.
There was a shirt company out of England called Brutus. They're no longer around, but for me, that was a fat guy's fucking wet dream, you know?
Really?
They made shirts up to 6XL.
Oh, wow.
I used to fit all kinds of dudes. They couldn't wait to get these shirts in.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
My business was booming because of that. You know, 'cause the guy was like, you only order big sizes. That's all we got here is big dudes. And now they got shirts to wear, you know? So it was perfect.
Is that style of their clothing brand similar to like Fred Perry?
No, they were button-up shirts. They're more like Ben Sherman shirts.
Okay.
You know, they had the three-finger collar, you know, thick collar, you know, just a longer shirt. And it went, you know, towards your thighs instead of, you know, by your hip.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was a longer cut shirt, and they made it proper. You know, it's a shame that company is no longer around, but that was a home run for me because I knew I could fit guys in. I'm like, no, you're 3X. Get over here. I got you. 5X. I got you. You know,
yeah, man.
That was a good time. That was a good time to have that stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's tough in general finding bigger size clothes, but never mind the style that we're talking about. Like I said, I could never find anything like with the Fred Perry stuff or I didn't even realize that there was other brands that were doing, you know, similar stuff.
You know how big 6X is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need a 6X, but
no,
yeah,
I know. That's fucking huge.
I know people that do, though.
That fit on this fucking couch.
Yo, I knew a lot of people that do, and they hugged me. You know, they always gave me hugs after they got a shirt. But you know that shirt was the only shirt they're gonna wear to every fucking, you know, everybody's functioning. You know, that shirt they're gonna wear to a funeral, to a wedding, to fucking whatever. That was the shirt.
Even if it's under the shirt, they'll still wear it.
No.
Yeah.
I find with bigger sizes, there's a couple of stores that sell the bigger sizes, and they're more expensive. Is that the case with that brand?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, European prices, you know, the pound. I wish, I wish the dollar was doing better. Well, you know, fuck, when USA used to do really good with money, we had a good chance to keep prices down, but, you know, with the tariffs and stuff like that, I carry Trojan shirts at the shop. Relco shirts has been consistent. And then, you know, Umbro and any of the Hooligan lines and jackets I've been making and stuff like that. It all comes from England, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to have to place an order soon. Do you got any of the 3X? You got anything in 3X?
I should.
Okay, cool. I'll hit you up after.
I'll call you up. I do have some button-up shirts, but I'm gonna have to send you some pictures. You know?
Yeah. Let me know if you get anything in stock, like the bigger sizes. I can maybe squeeze into
a couple of those
to a double
shirts, and you know, I could definitely get you. I remember you suiting up at Hooligan Holiday in Kansas City.
Yeah, man, I know.
That
was a great time.
You fought us all.
I know,
like,
brother.
Wow, you know?
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? Speaking of that, we'll transition to my next question. Why don't you talk about the origins of Hooligan Holiday, how that came to be?
Well, Hooligan Holiday, I started in '95 in Kansas City. We had a lot of guys that were in the Army, a lot of just East Coast heads that just didn't have any place to go. And by then, none of us could afford to go home. Yep. So I threw this little party in my 2-bedroom apartment. I had 100 people at the first one. And that was wild. And then I bought a house. Then I threw that party at the house for 2 years. Well, within the 2 years, I had a phone call from Guinness. A rep from Guinness was like, hey, I see you order 10 kegs a year. Why aren't you ordering more from us? And I said, well, I'm a residential. And he was like, you're a what? I go, I'm a residential. You're buying 10 kegs a year at a residential. I go, yeah. He goes, well, I got an idea for you. There's a struggling Irish bar couple blocks from your house. Why don't we sponsor you and you give them some business? So what they did was give us the keg, and they gave me money for getting a band, and a sound, and that was it. So I threw my first one at a bar, and I think that held 300 people, and it sold out.
Wow.
And then it just kept growing. At the height of it, I had Madball play with Bunny Brown and Elton Ellis. That was like big deal. I had H2O play. So the sponsorship came through, and at that time we were doing 1,400 capacity, and then it moved to 2,500 capacity, So that went on from we were doing a lot of big numbers at that time, and then things changed. No more sponsorship was happening, so
Oh, really?
we're paying for the band. Yeah, it was once that changed, it was tough, but we kept it going for a long time, over 20 years.
Yeah, that's dope, man. It's dope how you progressed from your house, your apartment, I should say, to booking big time bands and from all
my
genres.
neighbors loved me after that, But there was other things that for the future of Hooligan Holiday, I'm gonna next year I'm probably gonna do it upstate and travel to different cities.
Oh, really?
That way we could bring the local acts over, some of the closer stuff. Because it's hard for people to travel.
It's in Kansas City.
Usually in Kansas City, yeah. Usually 3 days in Kansas City. So if I could do the next one in Albany, then the next one in Denver.
It's usually indoor because now
it's indoor.
Now,
it's usually cold.
Yeah. I was out there a few years ago. It was a great time. Kansas City definitely gets frigid around December. There's no question about that.
Oh yeah,
tidbit nipply.
Yeah, man. And I come from a cold weather climate, but Kansas City, the wind. It was the wind or something, man.
It was the wind that gets you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we look good.
Yeah. Listen, it was great.
I mean, everyone suit up. That was the.
Yeah, that's
I remember the year that when Madball played, we had to get him suits in the same day.
Really?
Can you imagine that?
Really? I didn't realize that.
We found the one shop that tailored Hoya. He was like, "No, I want this one." The old lady was like, "No, you're wearing this one." And he was like, "Fair."
So Madball wasn't.
That was great.
Madball wasn't traveling with suits.
Nah. I think the only two that had suits already, and they probably were Armani, and that was Mackie.
Okay.
And who was it? Freddie.
Oh, okay.
Freddie and Mackie.
Word.
Already had suits.
Word.
They had the Armani suits. I remember that because I was like, everyone else had to get suits tailored that day. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. I think that
was a legendary show.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. I wasn't there, but I've seen the pictures. The pictures pop up every once in a while, and it looked like it was a great time.
Talk about old day videos. Have you seen the 1991 Killing Time at CBGBs video?
Is that on YouTube? I might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have.
That one. I mean, you see me on stage pretending I'm working. It was you just saw everyone that today.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't get on, everyone that I met at CBs, I'm still my brothers today.
No doubt.
It is unique as anything could be unique. To have a family like that. We met everyone in the pit, and you earned each other's respect. And today, we're all in our 50s and shit. Some of us are in our 60s.
Yeah.
We're still hanging out. That's the testament to where we come from.
Yeah. Yeah, the bond, the true bond of brotherhood and the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means a lot.
I mean, it was just the most genuine thing that I didn't receive that at home, and I got it on the streets.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, you're one of the brothers that put it on the map and made it what it is.
Tate, we didn't know what we were doing. We just knew that we had to stand our ground,
No doubt. And you certainly did that.
An old man used to say, it was funny. An old man, I saw him at, walking around, and he was talking about us. He was seeing me, Hoya, a couple of the boys hanging out. He was like, "Oh, them? Them kids, they were beating up grown men.
Yeah, you guys
I
certainly
still laugh about that, you know.
You certainly earned a reputation back in those days, for sure.
Yeah, we just had to look after each other, and you know, we didn't run. Put it that way. So
No doubt.
that was it. You know, you stand our ground, and we show up the same. You know, it was wild. You know, even the cops knew that we were. They left us alone after a while. They were just like, enough of it. You know, because they knew all of us. They seen each of us. They watched us grow up. They were just like, oh no, just go. You know, it was like that. You know, so.
What's one of the wildest memories that you can tell on air about back in those days?
It had to have been the Tompkins Square riot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, talk about that.
That was crazy. They were hanging out the park. Police surround the place. They take their badges off, and they decided to move in. They didn't realize, boy, these kids could throw down.
Really?
Yeah. It was a huge mess. It was a huge embarrassment for the police department. But man, you know, it's something to be said, because after that, the cops in our neighborhood respected us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, damn, this dude could have continued, but he stopped. He lifted me up. I'm not going to bust his balls anymore. And they changed the vibe of them and us. You know, it was just like they were really respectful.
Yeah, they gained respect for you guys, and it was kind of like a common ground.
Yeah, they did, and they knew if we were chasing someone, it was some idiot from another area starting shit. You know, so they kind of just gave us passes. You know.
Yeah. Now, there's pictures online. Is that from the Tompkins Square riots? The ones where you guys got the flag and everything?
No, that was the year. That was probably the first time cops turned their backs. There was a whole bunch of anarchy switchboard guys that wanted to burn the flag.
Oh, okay.
And we just didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So we showed up, and we grabbed a flag from a guy trying to burn it. That's what happened. And I jumped on someone's shoulder. I was waving the flag, going, "Yeah, you can't burn this one." And that became the photo of that one, you know.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. So for anyone that thinks punk rock is anti-American, here we go. They were protecting our flag.
Yeah, the time was different. You know, being patriotic wasn't being hate. You know, it was just the love for your next man, and you know that's what they forgot.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
We couldn't stand to see that happen. I mean, that was something that you just didn't believe in. You know, it's just like you can't just go do that. You know what I mean? And yeah, the anarchy switchboard guys, they were a nuisance in our block too. So I think that year cops just turned around, act like they didn't see shit.
You guys handle business.
And you definitely handle something. You know, but yeah, those were the good old days where we were just having a good time, and you know, it was just all of us hanging out at Tompkins Square Park. I think Washington Square Park was probably the wildest time we used to ever have, because every little corner had a group of guys. You know, all the skins would be there. Before Mitch was hanging out with us, he was on the other side with the metalheads. He had long hair.
I've seen a picture.
He was playing Slayer. Yeah, he was playing Slayer with a jukebox. So that's how I knew Mitch the first time. You know, every time I met him, he was like, and then we used to hang out with a whole bunch of rosters that skateboard. We had a few bike messengers that hung out with us, but it was all skinheads. And, you know, come Friday, that was our meeting ground before we decided to go wherever, shows or do anything. So Washington Square Park was pretty awesome. I remember a time that Mike Tyson wanted to beat us up.
Really? Well, can you tell us about that?
Yeah. He saw us and just walked up to us, right? And he was all huffy. He goes, "Fuck that, you guys hate black people." And I'm looking at all of us, a bunch of Puerto Ricans, myself, all of us. We're sitting here and we're like, "What are you talking about, champ?" And he's like, and I was just like, "Nah, that's not what we're about." But it was like that, you know. You get on any train, I don't care what neighborhood, black, Chinese, whatever. Everyone was trying to go and get at us.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things back then. You know, everyone had beef for us, and we just had to fight. But you know, unfortunately, that was the way it was. We didn't have to. You know, there was no really explaining who we were. We were just fighting, and that's how they took us. You know, all the time. And Tyson did that, and we talked to him. And after a while, he was like, "Oh, I get it." And so some other mothers, I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, that would have been crazy, man. I don't know, man. Tyson was, you know, savage. That would have.
Especially then, dude.
Yeah, back
even
then.
now,
Yeah.
still, shit. We'll find out tomorrow.
I don't know. I think back then I was punch drunk. I don't think I would have felt anything. You know, it's just like you've been in so many fights, you don't even feel it anymore. It's just like our hardcore pits were like fights.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, you know, those in the early days, that's what it was like, you know, being in the pit. You were so well conditioned. You go to these shows, you were healed by Wednesday. The show was Sunday. You'd be feeling your muscles back in tune again by Wednesday. And then what you do? Go right back again, you know?
Yeah. It took a few days to heal, and then you're right back at it.
Yeah. So, you know, we stayed on the steady at CBGBs, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Rico, you want to talk about how COVID's affected anything that you're doing right now with the shop? And I mean, were you shut down at all?
I'm shut down. Only open one day a week.
All right. You do like a lot of you do like online sales and stuff like that?
Yeah, online sales one day a week, and
we got a dog in the background
like,
going off.
Give him something to eat.
I started panicking. I don't know how to do this. Come on.
No, you're good because we can chop it out.
Yeah, we can edit that. Give that dog a bone.
Real. Give him a bone.
Give that dog a bone.
Fucking gonna piss.
It's
what the fuck?
It's like real ghetto life, you know.
By sitting by the door for an hour, you're still on the fucking phone.
Who says I'm bourgeois? You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. That's the real shit right there.
Bourgeois.
So,
but
how has COVID affected your business? You said you were only open one day a week now.
It shut down almost everything. You know, shows. There's no shows. There's, you know, big hit. Clothing store, record store, big hit. Everything has been struggle.
Yeah, it's happened everywhere, especially for small businesses. You know,
some places are worse than others. But
we are all hurting, but you know what? Some people are hurting more.
Yeah.
But you know, we're trying to make it happen. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think we would never stop. So,
well, people,
I want everyone to just be safe.
Yeah, definitely. And you're hearing it first, people, from a small business owner. So make sure you get out there and support your small and local businesses because they need it more than anyone else right now.
Yeah, they're not. The government's not looking our way. Hell, they didn't look our way for anybody who had a door job.
No, I know.
No service industry people.
Well, I mean, yeah, they pretty much was like, "Yo, go do you," you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we both. That's how we did this podcast. Really, I mean, we had talked about it before, but we both work in the service industry, nightlife, and everything got shut down. And you know, I mean, there's been unemployment and everything, but for a lot of people like bartenders and stuff like that who rely on tips, they were struggling.
Oh, I mean,
who knows what the aftermath is?
I know.
For Kansas City, we're losing a lot of friends. Work their way to open up some really, really unique restaurants.
Yeah.
And they're one by one are closing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's actually fucking terrible.
It is.
You know, I mean, there's been tons of places, and some places have been open for, you know, fucking damn near 100 years.
Yeah,
they're closing down.
Generation after generation.
It's like, you know, that actually happened down in Springfield with the White Hut. White Hut's been around forever, and they closed down. Luckily, another group bought the business and kept the recipes and reopened it, like kept it open. But like that is fucking.
That's
terrible,
not going to
man.
happen everywhere.
No, that's few and far between. But it's very unfortunate that people are literally selling their businesses.
And this one restaurant in Kansas City, during the whole pandemic, they were a soup kitchen. They fed thousands and thousands of people.
Wow.
And they had to announce that they're closing.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's reality check, you know?
Yeah, man, that's a damn shame. They were doing something good for the people, and then they themselves had to close because of the pandemic.
Well, the landlord, I don't think the landlord was covering them. You know, it's the catch-22. It's tough.
Right.
Someone owns the building.
Yeah.
Needs to get paid.
There's probably grants or something I figured for that type of stuff.
Well, if there's grants, why aren't they coming through?
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, there is none. You know, the paid back rent is tough for people.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Especially now. I mean, unless you're doing a lot of takeout business, it's very hard to stay afloat, I think.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, it's liquor sales. You make so much
liquor sales too, yeah.
But you make, I mean, as far as a business as a whole, food is one part, but it's all booze.
Yeah, booze is the majority.
That's how they're making the fucking
The only
money.
business is thriving in Kansas City, do I have to say, during the pandemic, was your local gun store. They had no issues.
Yeah. No. I think there's been an increase
everywhere.
Yeah, I think there's been a big increase in gun sales all across the country because people are freaking the fuck out. And with all the racial tensions and
just in case.
Yeah, during the pandemic, they were not allowed to close either. They were essential.
Yeah, man. Was there rioting and stuff out in Kansas City?
No.
No? You guys didn't have any crazy protests?
No, I mean, we had protests, but nobody wants to burn up shit.
Yeah, see, over here...
People want to eat here.
Oh, yeah, they're lighting cop cars on fire.
Maybe it was...
State House lawn.
Yeah, I mean, over here, it was crazy.
People want to smoke weed and, eat food. That's KC.
That's what I want.
Hey,
I'm moving.
Kansas sounds like the place to be, man.
Fucking packing this stuff up.
Kansas City decriminalized smoking, so these guys were eating, and they were eating out on sidewalks to support places. Hell, I was one of them. I had sushi on the sidewalk. You know, it was great.
Man. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, no, that's chill, man. That's the way it should be. Everyone just get along.
Yeah, everybody should just smoke. The whole world should just smoke a joint at the same time.
Pass the peace pipe.
Yeah,
Stop arguing.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
Break bread with somebody. Listen to someone's shit. Call it a day.
You got any?
It's all division and stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you 100.
You got any upcoming plans?
Survive the next couple of months, and that's
right.
if I could survive.
Make it a full year.
Yeah,
we're coming up on March. We're gonna
just March would be the goal. I mean, just getting through the heavy, fuel costs is so much. Just getting through that and paying your mortgage for the next 3 months, would make everyone happy because this is going to be the tough, trying times. No, I have gas.
Oh, if I get oil.
But gas price goes up, you know?
Right, yeah. That's what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, well, it goes up anyway.
Yeah, well, during the winter, yeah.
Like, I'll fill up my oil tank right before. They just filled it. It was not filled. It was half a tank for $94, which is good. Yeah. Usually it's $400 in the winter to fill it.
Yeah, I forgot back east, everyone still has oil.
Fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I wear a hoodie.
Steam pipe.
Oh my god, those the fucking radiators used to put used to cook shit on them. Fucking little pies.
Get that apple pie ready.
Fucking prison shit.
I don't know. I used to just melt crayons on them,
Oh yeah, my grandmother's rug, dude, the fucking baseboard was like that. We used to put crayons and melt it all. I think it's still there. Actually, I'm not even fucking kidding. Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Rico, what are some of your favorite records of all time? I had to ask you that.
Ooh, that is tough. AF, Cause for Alarm, Joy Division, what was that called? Disorder. Toots and the Maytals. I think Kingston was another one of my favorites. Anything Lee Scratch Perry did back in the day, I was in love. The Jam. You know, man, there's so many good bands that came through.
Oh yeah, it never stops. The list is endless.
Going all, yeah. Sisters of Mercy, you know, I mean, it was so many. That was the band I got to see with Saab, you know, he introduced me to the goth scene, the nightlife. We were always hide from all the hardcore dudes, and they would find us at these weird bars, you know.
The goth guys versus the skinheads.
No, the girls liked us because they felt safe. I think that's the only reason they fucked with us. They felt safe. So we was hanging out with some groovy goth girl, you know. It was cool. It was fine, you know.
Is there a lot of people that there are a lot of people that collect records just for like the artwork part of it?
I think there are some, but not as much as the new trend of skateboard art, you know. I mean, some of these skateboards companies are putting out these graphics, and they're selling for a lot of money now, you know. They make so limited runs of them, and people putting them in their house. I just started doing that, and they look pretty cool. So, you know.
Yeah.
I sold a lot of cassettes, believe it or not, at my shop.
Oh yeah, they came back around in popularity, right? Cassettes, it's like a novelty.
Oh my God, it was girls. I remember I got several. I remember I talked to all the homies back in the day, and whoever had cassettes would send me. They sent me boxes of cassettes, you know. And I put them in the shop, and all these hardcore girls would come and buying. I mean, they were buying heavy. They bought all my tapes. I was really impressed with that because I was like, I didn't know anyone who used them, but you know.
Yeah, you can get like refurbished cassette players now and stuff like that.
Yeah, you see them a lot, but man, they love them.
It's funny how
collection is.
I was going to say it's funny how they came back around because you know cassettes like were a pain in the ass when you think about it.
Why do you think they did come back around?
I think people just like that old like vintage.
Well, you know what? You remember when they started doing them fucking Polaroids again? Those. You remember that? They used to have remember the old school Polaroids when we were kids, but now they make those cool pics, which does the same thing. You can buy them and it spits out the picture.
Yeah.
That came back around too.
People, there's just a big market for vintage items. And Rico's in that business.
I think a lot of us back in the day didn't really have much money, and today a lot of them got good jobs. So I guess they go back to their childhood and what they remember.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's a great point.
Chris was going to break out the Sega Genesis. Yesterday.
I know, you know,
video. Oh my God, some kid will probably give you prize money for that. You know,
I know. I might have to put that up for auction on eBay or something. Rico, if you could,
you know what you did.
What's that?
You see, you know, you probably do well with it.
I'll try. I mean, I didn't pay much for it, so.
I mean, auction. Yeah, just do it for a good cause and watch it go.
Oh yeah.
Rico, if you could recommend one skinhead reggae album to someone, what would it be?
The Simmereps, Skinhead Moonstomp.
Okay. Yep, I know that song.
My boy Monty was, I got to do a 7-inch with him called Skins and Simmereps. That was the first one I got to produce.
Oh, that's right. You were putting out records too, right? You want to talk about that a little bit? I forgot about that.
Yeah, another one is a band from St. Louis. It's the second one I put out called Boomtown United, ska band, and they're amazing. I hope one day I get to do one hardcore record, one oi record, and one hip hop one.
Well,
that would be my dream to pull off.
If you want to do the hip hop
on the Boss Hooligan sound system.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, if you want to do a hip hop, I'd love to be a part of that.
Especially a hip hop one that would go with the only crossover of. Do you remember KRS-One doing entertainment using the Scatolites?
I don't know. If I heard it, maybe.
It's a rare one, but that was the first time I've ever heard hip hop with Jamaican ska.
Really?
Mashup. And it was KRS-One who did it. It was edutainment.
Yeah. I know that sounds familiar.
And that was the first time. And if I could ever pull off something like that again, yes.
That'd be great. It's funny because hip hop.
You know what I mean? Because it was with modern lyrics, with the Jamaican Scatolite sound or the brass sound. You know, that early Jamaican sound. with lyrics would be pretty choice. I'd probably bug out, you know?
That's dope, man. I mean, hip hop and reggae have always kind of intersected, but not so much ska.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look
Especially
that
the
up.
way, yeah, please do. Entertainment by KRS One, and that was the one that dropped my jaw. I was just like, what the fuck? This is the sickest
Word.
shit I've ever heard.
Word, that's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, the future looks good. You know, if we could put out more records and more 45s, it's that would be great. You know.
Yeah,
That'd be
man.
great.
Yeah, keep that going for sure. I mean, anything we could do to help promote that, just let me know.
Yeah. Hopefully we get you doing something. I can see something really magical happen.
I would love to.
I've seen all your stuff on your videos, and they're killer.
Thank you, brother.
You bring
I appreciate
it back to a classic style that people forgot about.
Thank you. I would love to collaborate on something. So let's build on that in the future.
Hell yeah! To get your stamp on something, yo, I got crazy. Johnny did that Cowboy. That was a unique album.
Yeah.
I pushed. Unique album. Most unique record I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's a dope project.
Boy songs covered rockabilly style.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, no, that's a dope album. Everyone should check that out.
Yeah, Johnny Rio's Cowboy.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny Rio, man.
It's solid, you know?
Yeah,
solid.
for sure.
I wish you'd do part 2 of that, you know?
Well, maybe he's working on it. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a little while, but that would be dope.
I've been pushing him for years. He keeps saying, "You really?" And I say, "I sold 50 copies at my store." Yes, it's a hit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else is a hit. For me, you sell 50 underground stuff. To me, that's a bona fide hit.
Hell yeah. No doubt, man. That's, it means something.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. One day, we'll have everybody's music at my shop, and then we could still just play and have people hang out,
Yeah, I'm definitely...
Even Gallo did an art show at my shop.
Oh, really?
Sold out all his pieces. Yeah, that was incredible.
Oh, dope. He's been killing it with the art. I mean, I know over this whole pandemic, too, he's been going hard with it.
I got him to get a square, because he came up. He goes, "I'm going to get money." I'm like, "You need to get a square." And as soon as he hooked up a square and people bought right there, they were like, "Yo, you take this?" He goes, "Yeah." And he sold out. He sold out of all his paintings at my shop.
Wow,
we both laughed that day. We went to have the best dinner ever. We were laughing for days. He was stunned that he sold out. But yeah, his work is pretty unique, and I love it.
Yeah, man. His stuff is killer. We're going to have him on, too. The stuff I've seen, I'm like, wow. I didn't know he had that artistic ability.
I know. His studio is pretty amazing. He just finished his studio in his house, and I'm like, God, I want to hang out there.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna have to reach out to him actually. Now that you mention it, yeah, he
yeah, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I want to help him push that artwork. I mean, I know he's doing well with it, but who knows when bands are gonna get to tour again,
Who knows? But let me tell you, man, I would be grinning like a storm. I'd be like that kid, all quiet, like this is really happening.
I know, man. I know. It makes you really appreciate things you might have taken for granted, like even going to shows, like going to Hooligan Holiday, going to Kansas City. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that right now. Yeah,
everything. It's just been the change of times, and I'm looking forward to new things with an old flair,
Yeah. Well, maybe this was a reset for a lot of things, and people will maybe have more appreciation for music, for underground culture, for the things that we're talking about after all this is over.
Yeah.
I hope that happens. I hope it's like you want to put down your game box and go out and see a show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know I do. When we can, I'm gonna go to a show every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what genre it is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, that's me. That has always been me in New York. That has been me in my life. You'll see me at all kinds of shows.
Yeah, man.
The favorite thing the kid ever told me, it was like hanging out with Warren and some of the brothers at Slayer, and I'm standing on stage, and this kid goes, "You hate them. I can't believe you're hanging out with them. You hate them." So I'm laughing.
What the fuck?
He was jealous that he was a huge fan and he never could be that close to them. And here I was, not knowing that I listen to music, he's like, "What are you doing on stage?" I was always, that was always the move for people. They're like, "What are you doing here? You don't like them."
The guy has no fucking idea, man. No idea.
No idea.
Straight ignorant.
That was the case. I would be at so many shows, and they're just not getting that I actually like listening to metal.
Yeah, man. That's just people's ignorant mind states, and they think, it's
true, but it's pretty funny when they just don't get it,
Yeah. No, but you know what?
You only in the New York City hardcore. I am that too.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, wait a minute, I thought you were a hip hop guy. What's up with all this shit? And I'm like, what do you mean, dude? What? I have to be limited to one fucking genre now?
No. But in their minds, that's how they see you. You couldn't change the character.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking people are people, man. They're always gonna be, humans are very flawed, and that's just another example.
So it's gonna be one who's trying to piss on the parade,
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So Rico, why don't you give out your social media, your website, your contacts, where people can get your clothes, can get records, and everything else?
Boss Vintage Shop, Kansas City, Missouri, 1214 McGee. The other would be Boss Vintage Shop on Instagram.
And
Boss Hooligan Shop on Facebook. And Boss Hooligan Big Cartel for online purchases.
Okay, so bosshooligan.bigcartel.com, where they can purchase everything that you got for sale, all the merch.
Right. Cool. Right now, I just put out a whole bunch of scarves. Hooligan scarves.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those
while
soon.
I still have them.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. So everyone out there, make sure you support the Boss Hooligan movement, Boss Vintage Shop, Boss Hooligan Clothing. Rico, you got any
Hooligan Sound System?
Yeah, that's right. Boss Hooligan Sound System, your DJ company.
Any shout outs?
Yeah, you got any shout outs you want to give?
Yo, Mickey, Panic,
yes,
everybody.
My brothers.
Ezak. Poncho sitting at home. I call him Ragnar. Hopefully he's listening.
Poncho will be listening. Yeah, no doubt. I'll make sure he does.
He better be.
I'll make sure of it. Anyone else?
Loki. Always Loki.
No doubt. Yeah, big up Loki on
Yeah,
the West Coast.
Poncho called us, and we just ripped him a new one. It was amazing.
Really?
You never seen Poncho so quiet.
Really?
Oh, it's great. You need to have us three on then with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
on
definitely.
your podcast.
Yeah, no.
You would be in tears. You would be in tears listening to us interact with Poncho.
I would love to have that, man. I would love to have all three of you guys. Hopefully, we can make that happen. I mean, Poncho's right around. He's right near me, but I would love to have him and you, and definitely Loki. I got to get Loki on too. He'd be a great guest.
Oh, you would die with us.
No, I believe it.
He didn't know what to say. We were in tears that day. I think Poncho goes, "This wasn't a good idea getting you two on the phone with me."
You hear that, Poncho? No doubt. Well, thank you, brother. That was great. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. I appreciate you guys doing everything that you do. And, man, mad love.
No doubt.
Always.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Respect,
thank you for coming on.
And thank you, and thank you again.
No doubt. And we're actually going to end the show with a song, one of my favorite skinhead reggae songs that I first heard it when you played it. It's by Claudette and the Corporation, Skinhead Abash Them. I love that track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That is huge.
Yeah, so we're gonna drop that right now to end the show. Thank you once again,
Rico,
brother. Thank you, Rico.
Thank you. Don't forget follow Rico.
Thank
share
you so much.
Buy some merch. Boss Vintage Shop.
Yes, sir. Support everything
Hooligan
that this man's
Clothing,
doing.
Big Cartel.
Yes, Rico. We'll talk to you soon, bro. Thank you,
man. Thank you. We appreciate it. Street Corner
Thank you so much.
Soapbox. We're fucking out of here.
Peace.
Peace.
Street Corner Soapbox.
If you're a fan of the podcast, you can help support the show by donating to our PayPal at paypal.me/Street Corner Soapbox.
That's right, guys. Make sure to like and share all of our episodes. And for easier access to our show, check out our link tree at linktr.ee/Street Corner Soapbox.